Is Paige experiencing CTE already? Why is she doing this? Do y'all think the paychecks are that big? Do you think they really paying her serious money? Are they doing this to help promote Power Slap? Did she reach out to them? Or did they reach out to her? Now I'm asking because Paige has several ways to make money. She herself said she made more money on OnlyFans than she ever made in the UFC. Now I can understand some women don't want to do OnlyFans because they don't want to sacrifice their morals. Fine. Paige don't have to get naked. Like, seriously. She could have a non-nude OnlyFans. She could have OnlyFans where she only wear dresses. Long, loose-fitting wedding dresses. Why roll with Power Slap? Unnecessarily bringing CTE in your later years. Is she even thinking about her later years at all? And this is a risky age. You know, you shouldn't do something like that at her age. I think she's over 30, right? We about to look it up right now. How old is Paige? She's 30 years old. Why? That's not too old, not too young. But it's still a very bad idea. What is wrong with her? Is this CT the early stages of brain damage? Is she showing brain damage? Is this whole decision to be on Power Slap a sign that she's losing it? I've always looked at Power Slap as something for the poorest of America. I mean, the absolute poorest. This is for people who are living in poverty, who make $27,000 a year or less. Paige could be a commentator. She could do a lot of things. Why roll with this? Something that could bring on CTE. Is she still a fighter or no? It doesn't matter. There's no good time to do this. So why is she doing it? Is Paige losing her mind? I suspect she is. I'm sorry. I suspect she's lost it. We'll see how long she does this, how many times she gets slapped, and if 10, 15, 20 years from now, she's not quite there, at least compared to other women her age. Now, the most interesting upcoming fight for me is Shevchenko Fiorot. I've watched all of Manon's fights back to back yesterday. Manon has a problem, I think. Even though I think she has a strong chance to win this fight, I also think Shevchenko has a strong chance of having a dominant victory. Because Manon is too dependent on her jab and left, or her jab and her hook from her lead hand, which is her right hand. She is a southpaw. She fought Aaron almost exclusively with a jab and a hook. Sometimes she'll lead with the hook, but it's usually a counter, like a check hook. She perfected it. And if you get past the jab, she has a nice right hand. And she'll offer the right hand at times without you getting past the jab. And she shows versatility. She will go after you. Compare how she fought Aaron with the way she fought Chukagian. Well, not Chukagian now. Some of the other fighters. She'll go after you sometimes. But she's too dependent on that jab and hook. Manon is crazy. Do y'all know this lady? You know what her plan is? Her plan from the start has always been to outstrike everybody she fights. Even Shevchenko. She about to come in here and try to outstrike Shevchenko. And I believe Shevchenko's going to try to take her down. And Manon, I think, is going to try to make Shevchenko respect her physical strength. I do believe Shevchenko is strong enough to take Manon down. Manon was actually taken down by Jennifer Maia, a fighter who Valentina took down. I think Manon and Shevchenko are very strong, and I think they can both take each other down. And that's a problem, kind of a problem for Shevchenko. She seems to kind of struggle with fighters who can match her physical strength. Now, Nunes was stronger than Shevchenko, and Shevchenko opted to stay away from Nunes. But that's exactly what Manon wants. She don't want to wrestle and grapple. So, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. But Manon fights in this pattern that I could see Shevchenko and Pavel cracking. She leaves herself open for counters. Watch her fight against Rose. She was getting countered in that fight. She's been countered by other fighters. Manon is there to be countered. And she fights in patterns. It's like she's always going to jab, jab, and that's what makes her so formidable. She commits to her jab on top of the karate, the fancy kicks. You see, along with those fancy kicks, she married the perfect husband to those fancy kicks. A good jab, good boxing. I put it like that. Decent boxing. And it's always, or usually, in the form of jab, straight right. Jab, straight right. You won't see many uppercuts. She also has a hook. The hook is with her lead hand. She's a southpaw. And she likes to throw a check left hook if you try to run in on her. But here's the problem. Another thing I've noticed with Manon, she fights as if she is dependent on her opponent being an orthodox fighter. I don't think she's ever fought a fellow southpaw. Right? So that jab and that hook that she likes to hit her opponents with, it's usually because they're orthodox fighters. They're not used to it. A lot of fighters, they don't like the lead hook from a southpaw because they're just not used to expecting punches coming from that angle. Manon won't have that. She's not going to have that advantage in this fight. That's an advantage that she has enjoyed in virtually all of her fights. Talking about Manon. So I don't even know how Manon is going to look. I don't know what her approach might be. She can't use the same old style. Not quite. She's going to have to show us a different part of her game, in my opinion. Shevchenko's not going to want to strike all night. At least I don't think. Manon might try to offset the fact that she can't use that jab, left hook, check, left hook. She might try to make up for that by trying to take Valentina down and muscle her around a little bit. I suspect Manon thinks she's the bigger, stronger fighter and that she can body Valentina. And, you know, Manon might have the option to strike with her and outstrike her. But if she falls short, she might have the option taking Shevchenko down, trying to wrestle and grapple her, though. I do think that would work more in Shevchenko's favor. So I don't really know what's going to happen in this fight. I'm going to take Shevchenko. I'm about 49-51 Shevchenko right now. And I don't think that's going to change much. So basically a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. Shevchenko's still a strong fighter. I still think she's very close to her best, to her prime. She's close enough to be the best possible test for the majority of the fighters in the division.